So Aidan Hutchinson is very interested in Myles Garrett potentially joining the Detroit Lions. He had this quote to say on a recent podcast he was on. If me and Myles were to pair up, that would be deadly, you know? I was talking to him, we were at the NFL Honors, and we were just talking about what could be. And although it's probably unlikely, I think I would be thrilled to play next to him if it were to happen. But yeah, our whole D-line would be totally elevated. That'd be a scary defensive line. And as far as the money goes for Myles Garrett, he has 2 years left remaining on a 5-year, $125 million extension he signed in the year 2020. Hypothetically, if a team does trade for him in the next few months, in theory, I guess they don't have to sign him to a new deal right away. But I'm sure from Myles Garrett's camp, he would want a new deal. But then again, if he gets traded to like a contender like the Eagles or the Lions, I don't know. If I was Myles Garrett, I'd probably just at least play for a year more with his current contract, and then after that year's up, ask for a new deal. We'll see how it all plays out. A lot of numbers to be crunched for sure. Now, as far as the Myles Garrett sweepstakes go, as of right now, the Washington Commanders are the betting favorites to land him. They have a ton of salary cap since their year 2 in their huge rebuild. So if he could go to Washington, that would definitely be a big pillar franchise move for them. But as far as the lines go, I expect Brad Holmes to be pretty aggressive. He really should be. He really should go all out. Honestly, if I'm Brad Holmes, I'm sending the Browns at least 2 first-round draft picks because they're in their Super Bowl window right now, man. And you got to go all in, all for it, swing for the fences. And hypothetically, Myles Garrett, Aidan Hutchinson would definitely be huge. Any team that Myles Garrett goes to, it would be definitely huge. But to pair him with Aidan Hutchinson, 2 extremely just crazy caliber pass rushers, potentially Hall of Fame players one day, absolutely nuts. I'm curious to see what Aidan Hutchinson will look like once he is back on the field, suffering that very serious leg injury. I'm sure he'll still look pretty good, but I'm just curious how good, and just to see if he's lost a step at all or not. But other than that, no-brainer move. But you never know. I think Aidan Hutchinson did say it was unlikely. I think it actually is a little more possible than he thinks. If the Lions were an AFC team, I definitely would agree with them. But the fact that the Browns, of course, are an AFC team and the Lions are an NFC team, I think it's going to be more than likely that the Cleveland Browns will trade him to an NFC team. So if they are actually going to trade him, the Lions definitely fall in that category. And for all the people saying that, oh, Cleveland's not going to trade him, blah, 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 Myles Garrett requested a trade. Not only did he request a trade behind closed doors with the management of the Browns, he requested it publicly. He made a statement on his Instagram. He's going to hold out. He's not going to play another down for the Browns again. I mean, hypothetically, sure, he could switch his tune and the Browns could pay him a monster contract, maybe, but even then, the Browns are in a cap situation with Deshaun Watson right now, so I don't even know if they could afford it. But either way, Myles Garrett is done with the Browns, man. So all the delusional Browns fans right now, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. It's just part of the grieving process. Eventually, you have to get to the acceptance stage. It's done. It's over. And, as far as the Browns themselves, Myles Garrett has been a beast since they drafted him in 2017. I feel like it's the right thing to do right by him and to fulfill his request. He's given that team everything, and he's totally lived up to expectations since joining the Browns in 2017. So, if they were good businessmen and decent enough people, you would strike while the iron is hot and get as much as you can from him if they trade him sooner rather than later. Because if they wait and they procrastinate and they play like a bunch of morons and don't trade him until August or September, teams' offers are going to be a lot less valuable than what they are right now. If they actually are seriously entertaining offers right now, teams are going to be trying to outbid other teams to acquire him. But if he's holding out, if it's getting super ugly, if Myles and the Browns are just having a total public PR mess of him holding out and, the Browns threatening him and whatnot, then the offers aren't going to be as rich as they are in the next few months. So we'll see if the Browns can kind of turn a new corner here, because that Deshaun Watson is still stinking up the joint. I mean, to give that human being at the time the most guaranteed money in the history of the NFL just speaks to the character of the people running the Browns organization. But hey man, it's a new year, it's a new day. Maybe, hopefully, crossing your fingers, they'll actually use their brains for once and actually be good businessmen for once. But we'll have to wait and find out. I'm not optimistic, but I just hope he gets moved. Like, I don't want this to linger. I just want to see a big blockbuster trade. I don't want this to go on in July or August and just have it be this annoying saga. I just want him to get moved. He deserves a fresh start. He's one of the best defensive players in the NFL. I want to see him on a big stage. I want to see him in big playoff moments. And that's why he's requesting a trade. It has nothing to do with the city of Cleveland or the fans. It's the fact that the people who are running the Browns can't put together good teams that are actually playing in January, can't put together teams that are actually competing in big moments. Myles is a competitor. He wants to compete in big moments. And as a fan of the game in general, I want to see him in the Super Bowl. Like, look what Aaron Donald did when he finally reached the Super Bowl. Straight up baller, and he won. He went out a champion, man. Look at Von Miller, the 2 times he's reached the Super Bowl. An absolute beast. 1-time MVP. Who knows, maybe if Myles is on the Eagles, he could be the MVP of the Super Bowl one day. But that's just me, man. I just like seeing the best players on the biggest stage possible. So if you agree with me, let me know in the comments below. And again, if you had a choice, just no matter what team you're a fan of, where would you want to see Myles Garrett play? Philly, Washington, the Lions? Let me know in the comments below. If I really had to pick one team, I would rather see him go to the Eagles, just because I know it would be a fun story for him to potentially help out the Lions and to finally make a Super Bowl appearance. But like I just mentioned, I'd rather see him be on the biggest stage possible, and the Eagles have proven in the past 8 years that they're capable of at least making it to a Super Bowl. So I'd rather see Myles in the Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles than with Aidan Hutchinson and on the Lions. But you let me know what you think. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
There's a flag right there. The defense accepts the penalty. Second down. The Bengals with 2 extra defensive backs in the dime. Dropping back now into the shotgun. Going to be a penalty here. Holding offense. That penalty is, of course, going to be accepted by the defense. Second down, tough field position here. And Ivory's got it on the handoff. The Bengals defensive coordinator, my gosh, he is one happy guy. Anytime you get in the backfield and stop a runner and make him lose yards, that's some good stuff. To Cumberland.
He's going to be tackled, and that's going to bring us to 4th down.
Defense was the order of the first half, Phil Simms, and it's hard to even see a scenario where that doesn't continue.
I think we got a trend going here. Here we are in the 3rd quarter, and the offenses are still locked up, can't do anything. I don't care. I like this. Defenses rule today.
Let's see what he can do here.